my children are here, and 40 years ago, I bought a slot machine and I put it up on our 3rd floor. And I could give my kids any allowance they wanted as long as it was in dimes. I mean, I had it all back by nightfall. I thought it would be a good lesson for them. And now, they weren't going to Las Vegas to do it, but believe me, when it was on the 3rd floor, they could find it. And my payout ratio was terrible too, but that's the kind of father I was. But gambling, people are always going to want to do it. And for that reason, I particularly think that access, in terms of friendly gambling or anything like that, I'm not a prude about it. But I do think that to quite an extent, gambling is a tax on ignorance. I mean, if you want to tax the ignorant, people who will do things with the odds against them, you just put it in, and guys like me don't have to pay taxes. And I really don't. I find it kind of socially revolting when a government preys on the weaknesses of its citizenry rather than acts to serve them. And believe me, when a government sticks, when a government makes it easy for people to take their Social Security checks and start pulling handles or participating in lotteries or whatever it may be, it's a pretty cynical act. It works. It's a pretty cynical act, and it relieves taxes on those who don't fall for those or who aren't dreaming about having a car instead of actually having a car, or dreaming about a color TV instead of having one. So it's not government at its best, and I think other things flow from that over time too. Charlie?
Yeah, I would argue that the gambling casinos use clever psychological tricks to cause people to hurt themselves. There is undoubtedly a lot of harmless amusement in the casinos, but there's also a lot of grievous injury that is deliberately caused by the casinos. It's a dirty business, and I don't think you'll find a casino soon in Berkshire Hathaway.
Desire of people to gamble, and they gamble in stocks, incidentally, too. Day trading, I would say, very often came very close to gambling as defined. But people like to gamble. I mean, if the Super Bowl is on, or even, better yet, if a terribly boring football game is on, but you don't have anything to do, and you're sitting there with somebody else, you're probably going to enjoy the game more if you bet a few bucks on it one way or the other. As you know, I mean, we insure hurricanes, so I watch the Weather Channel, but it can be exciting. But people, the human propensity to gamble is huge. Now, when it was legalized only pretty much in Nevada, you had to go to some distance or break some laws to do any serious gambling. But as the states learned to, what a great source of revenue it was, they gradually made it easier and easier and easier for people to gamble. And believe me, the easier it's made, the more people will gamble. I do not see the problem at all with people shorting stocks. I mean, I would welcome people shorting Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, if you own stock and they need to borrow from you, you can get some extra income from your stock. And the one sure buyer of your stock eventually is somebody who shorted it. I mean, that guy's going to buy it someday. And I have no problem with shorts. If there's some kind of a game that's played, and I've read about it, I've never seen it happen to anything that we've owned. Like I say, if anybody wants to naked short Berkshire Hathaway, they can do it till the cows come home, and we'll be happy to, and we'll have a special meeting for them. And I would say this: the shorts generally have the tougher time of it in this world. I mean, there are more people bulling stocks for phony reasons than there are bearing stocks for phony reasons. So I do not see shorts as any great threat to the world. If enough people shorted Berkshire stock, they would have to borrow it, and they would pay you to borrow your stock, and that's found money. We did that on USG. When USG got hammered after they went into bankruptcy, or maybe just before, one large brokerage firm came to us and they wanted us to lend them millions of shares, and they paid us a lot of money. And we happily lent them the stock. We wish they'd borrowed more. In fact, we insisted that they borrowed for a given length of time just so that we could collect a large premium. And I don't know how many, I'd have to look it up, but I don't know whether it's in the hundred thousands or maybe low millions, but we were better off. And they didn't do too well shorting USG at $4 a share either, but it was immaterial to us. So I do not regard shorts as, it's a tough way to make a living. It's very easy to spot phony stocks and promoted stocks, but it's very hard to tell when that'll turn around. And somebody that's promoted a stock to 5 times what it's worth may very well promote it to 10 times what it's worth. And if you're short, that can get very painful. Charlie, do you have any thoughts on shorting?
Well, not on shorting, but those delays in delivering sometimes reflect a tremendous slop in the clearance process. And it is not good for a civilization to have huge slop in the clearance processes for its security trades. That would be sort of like having a lot of slop in the management of your atomic power plants. It's not a good idea to have slop that causes a lot of financial exposure that people are ignoring.
Charlie, reach back into your law practice. If I buy 1,000 shares of General Motors and my broker doesn't deliver it to me, and I ask him to deliver it, and he doesn't deliver it to me after a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, what's the situation?
Well, if you're a private customer, you may wait a while. And a lot of the other trades, clearance systems do cause people to put up collateral and so on. But a lot of, take derivative trading, there's a lot of slop in derivative trading. And the clearance problem would be awful if a lot of people wanted to do something at once.
But if I demand delivery after 3 weeks, can I walk into court and say I want my stock? I've given you the money?
I don't think there's any court that can hand you your stock certificate just because you want it. No, if the clearance system is failing you, you can scream a lot, and you may have some ultimate remedy, but there's...
I'll get somebody else to represent me.